What's up, guys? Hey, how's it going? Sean here with another vlog. What we're doing today is going through my camera bag, the equipment I use basically to make these vlogs, and also some of my favorite equipment for photography. It's a short list. I travel pretty light. First, I'm going to talk about the camera that I use. The camera I use is a Nikon D5600. I totally didn't have to look at the badge just to remember. I recently upgraded this camera from a Nikon D5300, and I did that just before PAX. The reason I did that, I use AF-P lenses for one of my lenses. There's a new series of lenses from Nikon, right now pretty limited in scope. Those lenses use more silent motors to focus, so I would like to have advantage of those lenses in the futures, hence the upgrade. But I've actually done photography way longer than I've done video. Any of you guys who have been around the vlog know that this is a pretty new thing for me. I'm a streamer on Twitch, and I'm actually also a photographer. I've been shooting photos for about 6 years, 6.5 years. I think I got my first camera, the Nikon D5300 was my first camera, and I believe I got that in 2013, I want to say. My parents gave it to me. It was a birthday present. Very good camera, very nice birthday present. I used it all through college and shot on that at a student newspaper where I did sports photography, interviews. I shot some like artsy things. There's some things I shot there like in the black and white range, or like just kind of very, very college, for lack of a better word. So I've shot cameras for about 6.5 years. The Nikon D5300 is what I used to use, recently upgraded to the 56 for AF-P lenses. Speaking of lenses, the current lens that you're looking at right now is a 10 to 20 millimeter lens from Nikon, the AF-P 10 to 20 millimeter, I believe 4.6 to 5.2 minimum aperture. So to break down what those numbers mean, the AF-P is, which is not numbers, those are letters. I know the alphabet. Listen guys, I know the alphabet. AF-P means that it is the AF-P motor lenses. I believe that it's autofocus dash something. I think it's a proprietary name that Nikon came up with. So the AF-P does mean something. Right there at the front, it's basically an autofocus lens. 10 to 20 millimeters is the focal length of the lens, meaning that it can be very shallow, like it is now, maxed out at 10 millimeters, to pretty, like, it's tight in on my face, but not big. And when I said shallow, I meant wide. I totally meant wide. And I think that was about correct. The 10 to 20 millimeter lens is by far my favorite use for vlogging because, as you can see, I can touch the camera and you get the same view of my face as I would want you to get when it's on a tripod. A wide angle lens allows you to get pretty close to your camera and still see a lot in frame, whereas you'll see with some of the other lenses, the closer you get, the more of the frame you take up. Not necessarily appealing for video, sometimes very appealing for photos. To just move on down the list, I use the Nikon AF-S, which I believe stands for silent wave. So P must be like their own proprietary name for a motor. I think that's correct. AF-S Nikkor 50mm 1 to 1.8 G. So this is a pretty old lens for me. I've had it for probably 5 or 6 years. It serves me really well. It's a 50mm lens. It is exquisite when it comes to details, portraits, any kind of B-roll I normally take on this lens. I've done a lot of photo shoots and photography on this lens. That basically the entire cosplay shoot that was in the last video and the entire 2 photo shoots from Rent-A-Set, which I talked about in the last video, and I've attended one since that was like Hollywood themed. Both of those use basically just this lens. I know for a fact in the last Rent-A-Set shoot I only used this lens. I didn't switch out any other lens in my camera bag. The other thing that I have in here is kind of a mid-range between both of those, is a 35 millimeter lens. The Nikon DX AF-S Nikkor 35 millimeter 1 to 1.8 G. Now I haven't really talked about what 1.8 G means, but it means that the aperture of the lens inside can expand really wide. And what that means is it lets a lot of light in the camera, works great in low light situations, and also produces a very shallow depth of field. So you get the nice blurry backgrounds, blurry foregrounds. It's a very appealing look in photography. And it's something that I like a lot. I've recently been told by one of my friends that I should stop shooting portraits at f2.8 and I should crank it up to f5 at least. And I say they're wrong. But she can argue with me. Heather, if you're watching, I'm right. That's not true. You've been doing photography a lot longer. But I like f2.8. It's crispy. It's crispy sharp and it's great. And I love it. I can't... but anyway, to demonstrate, so I wonder if this will show up, but like you can, oh yeah, look at that, look at that. Oh man, maybe focus on it. Look at this. Oh. So this is the diaphragm in the back of the camera opening up, and all I'm doing is I'm like moving this little lever. Oh yeah, you can see my face. Hey, there's my little mouth. What's up? That's so bizarre. So you can see my little mouth talking, and you can see that lets much more of the image in at some points than others. And it's this is freaky and bizarre. I didn't consider this, but this is weird. But this is a very wide open lens. Lenses go wider than this. Normally they go up to like I think 1.4, 1.2 I think exists. 1.8 is perfect for me. It's a pretty entry level for like mid-range photography. I want to say this lens, the 35 millimeter, is like $100. It's very cheap. So considerably for lenses. My dream lens is the 70 to 200 millimeter f2.8, and that is like $2,000. So very cheap comparatively. Highly recommended. The 35 millimeter, what I use it for is I use it for wider shots. I use it for whenever I do a landscape, whenever I do those time lapses. I use this for time lapses because it gets more in the frame. And again, what I'm talking about when I say millimeters, or like 35 or 50, is that is the narrow and wide range of that you can see in frame. So I've got a pretty good range from about 10 to about 50. After that, I think the next lens I need is an 85, but that also does it for lenses. We've got the 10 to 20, we've got the 35, and we've got the 50. Those are the three lenses I use for basically everything in the vlog. If you've seen a shot in the vlog, they're shot on those. Okay, now that we're done with lenses, let's talk about the accessories that also make this vlog possible. Mini tripod. Mini tripod is fantastic. Not only does it go out and splay out to, let me get in focus here. Not only does it go out and splay out to support a camera on top, but also if you fold it up, it's a nice little, it's the perfect size and to be a nice little hand grip. And I'll just put it underneath the camera. Oh God, I hit the camera. I'll just put it underneath the camera and I'll hold it that way. And that's how you saw a lot of the PAX vlog, and any kind of walking that I do on the vlog is often on this. I'm not holding the camera by the side. I'm using this underneath it. One of the last little pieces of gear that I can pick up off the table before we go is this little ND filter. So this is from, I believe it's from K&F Concept. It is a little neutral density filter. What this is perfect for is for allowing light into the lens. Now, why is that important? So during the day, there's a lot of things that go into photography. When the sun is beating down on everything, there can often be too much light sometimes. Some things will be very shiny and almost white on the sensor, or some things may be pretty dark and you have to like fight the contrast. So a good way to do that is to put a neutral density filter on it, and it allows you to do some very experimental things. If you've ever seen like a waterfall shot where the water is like very silky smooth and like appears like almost like a blanket over stones, that was shot with one of these. Someone put this on, and as I can demonstrate for you, turned it one way or the other, and you can see that it gets black. Now, I'm not doing a magic trick. This is basically two patterns in two sides of the glass are overlapping to create this effect. And I can stop down multiple stops in the camera to let very little light in so that I can control what happens at the sensor. Very handy dandy little tool for photographers, videographers, highly recommended. Just any ND filter, doesn't have to be a certain brand, but make sure that it fits your camera. Variable is nice because you can turn it, like I said, and you can get kind of multiple stops. Like you can be like, oh, it's not that bright, it's a pretty cloudy day. I'm going to go with something like this. You can be like, oh man, the sun beating down on me. Like lately it's been really hot in Virginia. And you can go with something a little darker, something a little bit more black that will let less light through. So the things on the camera, like I said, the Nikon D5600 is the camera I use. The 10 to 20 millimeter lens is the lens that I use. What does that sit on? That sits on a Manfrotto 055 tripod. So the Manfrotto 055 is great because it is a very big, sturdy tripod that's heavy, doesn't often need sandbags to be kept down, and is a very sturdy platform with which I can do anything I want, really. It also has a very nifty feature where the head can go 90 degrees. What does that mean? So it's got this pole arm that goes up and down that no one do anything with this motion, please. Like, I'm doing it. Please, no, don't do anything with that. But it has this pole arm in the center of it that will go up and down to not only give you different levels of what am I looking for? Different levels of height in your tripod. So it'll go to its maximum height, and then it'll go 90 degrees to maybe look over a workspace or to get a macro shot of something on the ground. The legs also splay completely out to go flat, so you can do this to get some really cool low-level shots, like shots that look like they're taken from on the ground and shots that look like they're taken from like an ant's perspective. One of the last things I'm going to talk about is the Rode Video Micro. The Rode Video Micro is a very tiny, portable microphone that goes perfectly with this camera. It just slots in the top. You put a dead cat on it, to a dead cat wind noise reducer. Wind noise reducer? Wind noise reductor? Reducer? Wind noise reducer. Wind noise reducer goes on it. Cancels out a bunch of wind noise. Very tiny mic. Very tiny package. Packs a really good sound. I've never had to edit sound for this vlog since I've started using that, and it's great. The very first time I use it, didn't put the dead cat on, got a whole bunch of wind noise even inside. So I highly recommend doing that, putting just something on it to catch wind, because otherwise it's touch and go. But very nice little mic. I love it. Rode Video Micro. One of the last things I use is a ring light. I use a Nuear ring light from Amazon. It is an LED ring light with adjustable power and adjustable temperature. Now the temperature is for white balance. The power is, lighter, darker. It's got two modes basically. And it is a fantastic light. I use it for streaming, and then I use it indoors when I'm vlogging to kind of put the light up. Like, so if I block it out, like, you can kind of see it's making me a little bit darker. Like, it'll work even better if I use my hat. Oh, I've got hair. Oh boy. But anyway, it works. It's good. It's a nice fill light to fill one side of my face, and give some shadow, give some fall off. I love it. It's a good light, and you do good light. I'm not done. Very last thing, journal. Get a journal. If you're going to do vlogging, if you're going to do photography, if you're going to do anything creative, you need this. Why? Because I have a terrible memory. Anyone will tell you, my memory is jank. Now, when I write stuff in here, I won't forget. You know why? Because it's in here. And so if I have a video idea, I can just open my handy-dandy little journal, and I can open it up, and I can read it, and I can say, ooh, I should do regular reading for my mid-year resolutions. Link to that vlog in the description. But anyway, it's just a great little tool. I got this at TwitchCon. Use any journal you want, but make sure that you're going to use it. This has a hardback, which I quite like. I need a hardback journal. I don't like anything super flimsy. I can also use it in self-defense. It's good. I like it. It's a good journal. Again, I got this one at TwitchCon, so it's got the little Twitch logo on it. Can I show it? There? Hey, little Twitch logo. So I like it. I like it a lot. Highly recommend you get a journal. And I highly recommend you do something creative. If you haven't already this week, I hope that you go pick up your phone, a camera, a pen, a brush, something. Do something creative. And then think of all the tools that you use, because this was a really neat exercise to think about what tools I use to vlog and what tools I use in photography and how much actually goes into this stuff. I think you'll be surprised how many tools you actually use in your daily life when you're doing something creative. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope that you've enjoyed this content. I hope that you go out and do something creative. Be your best self and just live your life. Remember to like and comment down below. Let me know what kind of stuff you want to see in future videos. Subscribe if you want to keep up with the channel, and hit the bell to get alerts. I feel like I should say that at the end of YouTube videos.